Hello, this is Nima Golbabai on KUCI 88.9 Irvine. This is my show, Cinéshow, back again on Wednesdays at 4 to 5. So this time, I did watch a movie this time, and I actually have a guest here today. So I'm with Sean, who has a show on Sundays, I think.
Hello. Yes, yeah. I do have a show. Sundays, 12 to 2 p.m. It's called Mess FM. Tune in for a lot of alternative indie, goth, synthwave, just a ton of mix of alternative genres. Good stuff.
I think you're gonna get like about a 300% boost in ratings because nobody does, social media like this show. We got a lot of power here.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I chose the right show to be on.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be your lead-in, so to speak. So you are an expert. You're like a film major, I guess.
I study film and media studies here at UCI. That is my major, yes.
All
so
right.
My job is to watch a lot of movies, occasionally write about them, and then study some stuff about how media affects your life and how new media in particular is changing the landscape of society.
So you're going to bring a level of class to this show that has not yet been seen, because I'm known for my lack of education, so I'm glad you're here.
Wow. That's the first time I've been called classy.
Yeah, we're going to really...
Not that I'm unclassy.
We're going to class this place up. So I thought we should start with the mecca of all movies, which is Star Wars. And you wanted to talk desperately. No, you didn't. You're really being forced into this. Empire Strikes Back.
Hey, I like to talk about movies, or else I wouldn't be a film and media studies major.
Right. Here's the thing I noticed before we get into like actual films, but when I took a film class like last year, literally nobody even knew what a movie was in that class. Everybody was just there because it's easy, and nobody knew anything.
It was a class here at UCI?
Yes.
Was it, do you remember which class it was?
Oh my god.
Was it 85A? Because that's kind of like the base intro one.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that one. I had a good time in that class just because we watched a lot of cool movies. But yeah, it's definitely one of the GE courses that a lot of people take, just because it sounds like fun.
Did you see that one? It's like Amores Perros.
Amores Perros. That's not one we watched, I don't think.
That one's really good. It's a Mexican movie. It's really cool. It's super dark. It's about like a homeless assassin in Mexico.
Yeah, no, we definitely didn't watch that.
Yeah. Watched this other one. It was like with, what's that guy from Gone with the Wind? Rhett Butler? Or no, that's the that's the name of the character.
The guy who plays him?
Yeah, Clark Gable, right?
His name is Clark Gable.
Clark Gable.
No, it's like with a G.
We're so off course.
Oh wait, why is it spelled two ways? I've actually seen it spelled both ways. I've seen it spelled with a G and with a C. Like Glark and Clark.
Well, yeah, anyway, it was...
I'm informed, I promise.
Did you see the movie? It Happened One Night.
It Happened One Night? No, which one? Is that one of his?
I watched that in that class, yeah. That was a good movie.
This doesn't sound like 85A. 85 is like a little bit more like contemporary than this.
What else did you watch like in that class?
We watched Mad Max, Fury Road, the latest one. We watched this, it was a Chinese movie. I forget what it was called. I think it was called The Mermaid. That was a funny movie. It was a comedy. We also watched Moonlight.
Right.
Birdman, great movie. Few others. Sorry, I don't have the syllabus. My memory's a bit shoddy.
It's alright. I think my teacher just did something else. Let's talk about Empire, and then after we're done talking a bit, I'm gonna quiz you. I'm gonna bring up a quiz.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And I have a great website. It has good quizzes. Yeah, StarWars.com. Okay. So this is your favorite Star Wars film, right?
Yes, probably.
So here's what I think about this movie. I I always pick out like certain parts of Star Wars films I love.
Mhm.
For instance, the ending of Episode 6 is like my favorite part of the whole series, probably. And then I love like Order 66 from Revenge of the Sith and like all the duels and stuff.
Mhm.
But in this movie, I really love the asteroid chase.
Oh yeah, that's an iconic scene.
I think it's like the perfect action sequence, and I love the music, and it's just so nice. And then there's obviously the ending, but also the relationship between Han and Leia, particularly because the actors were so good and it felt so real. Like it felt, and I guess it was real because I think they were having an affair.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they admitted to it later. And yeah, so I think this movie's all about charisma. What do you think?
You know, it definitely does have that charm. Like you said, their relationship is, it gets made creepier by the fact, or Luke and Leia's relationship, that I think I don't know how far George Lucas thought into the future when he was making these movies, but having them end up being brother and sister in the end made the whole, looking back, hindsight, a lot creepier. So yes, I would definitely did like Han and Leia together much more. But yeah, Harrison Ford was definitely, like, he's one of like the pioneers of kind of that, like, you know, scallywag charisma, like Indiana Jones, you know, what's the word, like the swashbuckling kind of man's man.
Yeah.
Like he was, like, even before he was an actor, he was a carpenter, you know, worked with his hands, you know. He's one of those guys that, like, you know, everybody wants to be him, or men want to be him, women want to be with him. I think that's the term.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Harrison Ford in that movie particularly. His acting, you know, it's a bit up to scrutiny there, but no, I think he does a great job. He definitely has that, like, X factor when it comes to that charisma, like you said.
So I was thinking, my favorite character from like all of Star Wars is like Darth Vader / Anakin, obviously. But I was thinking of like the heroes from the originals. I actually prefer Han Solo to Luke, frankly.
Well, yeah, I think because it's a very binary kind of plot with Star Wars. You know, you have the light and you have the dark. You know, you have the, you know, dark side, light side, good force, bad force. So it's very binary. So it's refreshing to see a character like Han who exists in kind of the gray area, where he's a bit of an anti-hero. You know, kind of only wants to look out for himself, doesn't really want to take sides because he helps out the Empire in certain situations and he helps out the rebels in certain situations, but he ultimately ends up choosing the good side. So I think he, at a time when there's not many characters like him, I think he's much more interesting in that dynamic, and just within the context of the film overall, because Luke, yes, is a very vanilla character. He follows the whole how you say it, hero's arc, you know, call to action, learns from the grizzled old teacher, ends up taking his place in defeating evil. Like, it's a story that's been told a million times, just really exemplified within Star Wars. Star Wars just kind of did it better than most other people. But yeah, he kind of exists between Darth Vader and Luke, which makes him, I think that's another reason why people are so drawn to him, because not everybody can see themselves in Luke or Darth Vader. I think they see certain aspects of themselves in each, but, you know, Han is right in that middle ground. They're like, yeah, I'd rather be Han.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the conflict that makes him really appealing, because he's sort of compelled to be a jerk, but he always comes through in the end. And also it's back to, he's just the coolest character. I really like him. What was I gonna say though? I'm looking at some of these trivia questions. You're in for a bad time. This is really difficult. Yeah, no,
the last time I watched all of the movies was probably when I was 7 or 8. But I've always revisited them here and there, so it might be pretty hard.
I've watched them 400 times.
Oh God!
In the past 2 days.
Oh, when I was a kid, I used to watch them all the time. That was one of the main things me and my friends did. Is when they come over, oh yeah, we're watching Star Wars. We used to reenact them with lightsabers and stuff.
I didn't see Star Wars until I was in 7th grade.
Oh, that's sad for you.
I know, and the only way I knew Star Wars was from Lego Star Wars.
That was a great game. That was
It
actually one of my
was.
favorite games to play on the Wii with my friend.
Yeah, and it was so weird watching the movies, like knowing the scenes from Lego, and
Like,
it's
wow, this is just like Lego Star Wars.
right.
Which came first?
Yep. What else is there? Okay, so how about on the topic of Han Solo? There's the famous scene where he goes into the carbonite and he's Leia says, "I love you."
I love
He
you.
says, "I know."
Yeah.
And that's probably his whole character. He's always in for like the punchline.
Mm-hmm. And it's also, I think it's just funny because it's a very like non-committal answer. Like, yeah, I know. Like, it's not "I love you too" or anything like that. And it's so perfectly in line with the character, like not committing really to anything. And he's just like, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna go out this way.
let's change it. What if he dies there and like Leia is tormented by that her whole life? Like he died and he never like said he loves her back, and she's just struggling in her 70s.
It's quite the whirlwind romance, because if you remember at the very beginning of the film, she kisses Luke to spite Han. Like Han's all like, "You're actually in love with me," but she's like, "No, I'm not." So she kisses Luke just to spite him. But then by the end, you know, they're together, and yeah, it would be a very just to see her like conflicted. I don't know if she would get really hung up on it, honestly. I just watched the other day, yesterday, we watched Gone with the Wind, or not Gone with the Wind. Oh my god, Casablanca. Yes. I'd already seen Casablanca, but rewatching it again, you know, the whole Ilsa and Rick like whirlwind romance in Paris, and like that's what Han and Leia have.
That is very true.
And that's also probably why they get divorced in the sequel series. But we also don't talk about those because nobody likes those.
Remind me of what the famous line is from that movie. I forget.
Which one?
Like from the end of the movie.
In which movie? In Empire Strikes.
Casablanca.
Oh, Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Right, but what was the other one?
I came here for the waters.
No.
I was misinformed. Here's to looking at you, kid.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, here's looking at you, kid. Here's looking at you, kid.
Yeah. Okay, that's the one I remember. That's a really great movie.
Yeah, watch it. It holds up. Like honestly,
It
like
does.
it's a bit, you know, it's a bit cheesy, obviously. And I like when I was watching it, I could hear like a lot of the other people laughing. But I'm like, nah, this is a good movie. This is funny. Like the humor still holds up. The themes I think are still pretty universal. And Rick is one of those original like noir like bad boy types. And he still is.
That actor is awesome. I'm
Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, he's so cool. He is like a kind of a precursor to Harrison Ford. He's so
definitely.
He's dry and he doesn't care. He never lets anybody tell him what to do.
Yeah, and in that movie, Louis, who is the captain of the police in Casablanca, he tells Rick, he's like, "I think you're secretly a sentimentalist." And like, I've read the report on you, you're always like fighting for the underdogs and stuff. And you're always like, he never wants, Rick doesn't, he is a sentimentalist and he does help people and he does, you know, have a sense of what's good and right, but he never wants other people to know that.
Right.
And I think that's why he's gotten as far as he has, is because, you know, all exists. He says, I don't stick my neck out for anybody.
Right. That's Han Solo.
That is literally Han Solo.
It's the perfect.
But he does the right thing in the end, just like Han Solo.
It's a perfect segue. There's keeps something I want to say, but I keep forgetting. You talk for a bit, I'll think.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you could definitely draw a parallel between, like, I do wonder if like Casablanca was the first to kind of do it with that. So I'm probably not. I mean, noir movies had been around for a while, I think. But yeah, whether or not, also Rick's a very like martyr character. You know, he's very self-sacrificial. Like he sacrifices his happiness with Elsa so that Victor Laszlo can get on the plane and complete his work, because he knows that Victor would never be able to complete. Victor Laszlo is he's like one of the underground resistance leaders against the Nazis. He knows that he would never be able to function properly if he didn't have Elsa in his life. So he takes he kind of martyrs himself, says like, Ilsa loves you and she's going to go with you, and she tried to convince me to give you the letters of transit so you could get out of here. Which I think for Harrison for Han Solo, he does end up doesn't super martyr himself. Does get tortured and frozen in carbonite, but does ultimately get a happy ending at the end of it, unlike Rick. But yeah, I think Han Solo probably deserved it. Like he goes through a lot just trying to exist in that area, but he chooses to be with Leia and to help out Luke, and then Lando ultimately betrays him. Also Lando, what a character.
Yeah, he was really good too.
Love Lando. Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, I thought we'll get to him in a second, but I thought of one of the things that always makes me laugh in this movie is where Han keeps calling Leia like your worship or like stuff like that.
Oh yeah, your highness, princess. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it, so funny.
The schoolboy kind of like teasing.
Yeah, but let's go to Lando. Lando is like from the same sort of mold as Han Solo, but he's like a good addition to the main team. And in the 6th movie, he sort of like gets his day to shine more so, but in this movie, he is there to sort of stab the team in the back, but then at the last moment kind of come through. And yeah.
Yeah, he's a funny character because he is built up to be exactly like Han, like a scoundrel kind of thing. But then when Han meets him, you know, he's all like, how you doing, old timer? And like hugs him and everything. And he's like, oh, I lead, what is the Cloud City called again? Is it called
the
Cloud
Mining
City?
Guild, right?
It's called, hold on.
I'll say Lando's Business. Okay.
It is called Cloud City. So he's like the mayor of Cloud City. Which is funny because it's like, you know, obviously they built him up to be the scoundrel, and then he ends up being this upstanding leader of this city, and he leads all these people, and he seems to be successful, well liked, and ultimately ends up being blackmailed by Darth Vader in order to save them, which is an inherently selfless act. Like he could have just cut and ran or helped out Han, but he said no, like Vader would have, you know, destroyed the city if I didn't give you up. And he pays for that, but then he ultimately helps them out in the end. So he's the, you know, he does try to do the right thing, and he comes back in the 6th episode and helps to free Han and Luke and all of them.
Yeah, on Cloud City, there's obviously the duel, but I really like the part when
oh, that was a great duel.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but I love the part when Darth Vader's like stands up from the dinner table and then Han shoots him and he blocks it with his hand. Hands. That was
yeah,
really
I never
cool.
Understood that when I was little. I was like, what just happened?
He says, we'd be honored if you would join us.
I wonder if that's a Force thing or like a cyborg thing.
No, it's the Force.
It is the Force, so the Force could always deflect laser blasts.
I don't think everybody can. I think some people can.
He's just built different.
Yeah.
Well, literally. He's a cyborg.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was the Force. That's how I always read it. Yeah, I'm going to say it is. But then we get to the duel, which I've got some thoughts. There's obviously the most famous plot twist of all time, I am your father, but I think it's unfortunate that that's so famous that everybody already knows it, basically.
Oh, you mean like newer, like audiences born after the fact, like they already... Yeah, I mean, if I ever have kids, I'm going to hope to shield them from that forever until I show them the movie, and then they can be shocked and awed. I don't even know if they would appreciate it, though, at that age. I don't know if I appreciate it. Like, I don't even remember the first time
You probably knew.
I probably did, honestly, because, yeah, it's such an iconic line.
I knew.
And if you're German, it's ruined for you right off the bat if you speak German, because Vader means father.
Oh, yeah.
So his name is literally Darth Father.
Fatherland.
So, yeah, if you're German, you don't get the excitement right off the bat.
I kind of didn't even notice that. Yeah, that duel was good. It was the father testing the skills of the son unknowingly, which is sort of the build up to Anakin's redemption, where Luke can see he's not going to kill him. Really, he's not giving his whole power.
He wanted the father-son dynamic.
Yeah, and I love, you know what, the Sith make great offers. You know, he's like, come with me and we'll rule the galaxy together.
Well, that's their whole shtick, right? Is that, like, they tempt you into the dark side. They say, like, give in to your hate and your anger and, like, you know. And honestly, it's pretty appealing. It's
a
like,
great offer.
Because the Jedi are all, like, you know, no emotion. You know, they're like, they're like monks, no emotions, worldly possessions are bad and stuff. And it creates a lot of these tortured characters, like if you ever seen the Clone Wars with Obi-Wan and Satine, I think her name was, who's like the leader of Mandalore, who he loves but he can't be with because he's a Jedi. Yeah, honestly, Darkseid doesn't sound too bad. Like,
speaking of the Clone Wars, some of the Jedi are like good people, like Obi-Wan, who like, choose to be like selfless and committed, but they're still struggling. But like, Ki-Adi-Mundi.
mm-hmm.
Apparently, he was a psychopath.
I heard that as well. I only heard it though. I didn't like delve into it.
So when Anakin's mom died, and he was really like distraught over it, like Ki-Adi-Mundi was just like, get over it, it's the Force, everybody dies. And also I heard that he was allowed to take 5 wives because his species was on the verge of extinction, and they made an exception.
Oh, so he got the Jedi he got the Jedi pass.
Yeah. And he also used a flamethrower on a bunch of Geonosians in one episode, so he's a war criminal.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, I saw a YouTube video. I never watched it. It's like Ki-Adi-Mundi totally deserved to get shot in Order 66, though.
I think that's from a YouTuber named Geetsley.
Is that it?
Yeah, he's an awesome YouTuber. I think that's who it was. He makes awesome content. God, we got to get back to Empire. Do you want to take the quiz?
Sure, I don't mind.
Okay.
Let's see how I do.
The first one is hard.
Okay.
What is the name of Han Solo's call sign on Hoth? Echo 3, 4, 5, or 7?
Oh. I think Echo 3.
It is Echo 7.
Damn.
Which type of droid is not seen in Echo Base? A mouse, a WED Treadwell, a 2-1B, or a GNK?
Oh my god. GNK.
It's a mouse.
Oh, I could have sworn there was a... Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the Death Star.
This is easier.
Okay. Wow, you're setting me up for failure there.
Yeah. What was Luke out investigating when he was attacked by the Wampa?
Oh, he was investigating the asteroid that fell.
You got it.
Well, they think it's an asteroid,
Yeah.
but it ends up being a probe droid.
Yep. That was the trick.
Mm-hmm.
Who speaks these words? Your Highness, there's nothing more we can do tonight. The shield doors must be closed. Is it General Carlist Riken, Dak Ralter, C-3PO, or Major Bren Durling?
Oh, God. I remember this line.
Mm-hmm.
It said towards the beginning.
Yep.
I don't think it's C-3PO.
It's not.
It's either the Major or the first guy you said.
Mm-hmm. Major or the General.
Let's go with the Major. I feel like the General was probably off doing something else.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which Imperial officer fails Vader for the last time? We talked about this. Piet, Ozzel, Nita, Moti.
It was Ozzel.
Yep. And fun fact, the actor that plays Admiral Ozzel was Adolf Hitler in
What kind of episode?
in the third Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade. You know, the one that signs his journal.
Yeah, I wonder if him and Harrison Ford met on the set of... Wait, which one came first, actually? Now I think about it.
It's Empire for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if they met on that set and then they came back later on.
Empire Strikes Back is 1980, and Last Crusade's in the 90s, I think.
Really?
I think so. Oh, 1989.
Mm.
Princess Leia advises all troop carriers to assemble at what entrance? Which entrance? North, south, east, or west?
South, right?
Nope, north.
Damn.
Difficult.
It's funny because I just watched this recently, but it was very late at night and I was very tired.
Well, these are hard for anybody.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like I'm failing. Just keep going. I got to redeem myself.
Which tool does Han request from Chewbacca to repair the Falcon's hyperdrive? An inciter, a hydrospanner, a power calibrator, or a transponder? I know which I think it is.
I think it's one of the last two.
Same.
I think it's the power
Yeah,
calibrator.
that's what I think, but I'm wrong.
Is it the transponder?
Hydro spanner.
Oh my god. I love how everybody in Star Wars is just like a mechanic. Like, can you imagine how complicated it would be to actually like fix a starship? And like everybody just seems to be able to do it. Like they just seem to know. Like it's fixing a car,
That's
even though it's
true.
probably like infinitely more complicated.
Yeah, that is really true. I mean, most people on Earth have like no skills.
Yeah, I
beyond-
wouldn't. I can't even fix a car. You think I'm gonna be able to fix a starship?
Right,
Man,
right.
no.
Do you think they have like YouTube tutorials?
It must be taught at like some Star Wars school or something, like common thing. Because like a hyperdrive, what sort of like physics magic allows you to travel faster than the speed of light? And they're just like, oh yeah, I know how to fix that.
Right.
You're just a genius.
That's like the one plot convenience in Star Wars, really, because it makes the whole world work.
Mm-hmm.
What is the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field? 2,320 to 1, 4,920 to 1, 3,720 to 1, or 5,920 to 1?
This is something C-3PO says, right? And then
Yep.
Han goes, never tell me the odds.
Yep.
Wait, hold on. Repeat the numbers back to me.
2,320 to 1,
That's too good.
4,920 to 1, 3,720 to 1, or 5,920 to 1?
Let's go with the last one.
No.
Damn.
3,720.
I feel like it was higher than that.
What does Luke tell Yoda? No. What does Luke tell Yoda is his reason for wanting to be a Jedi?
Because Master Yoda, you can't die. It's like, yes, Luke, I can.
Is it Princess Leia, his lover? No. Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, who are turned into a barbecue? Obi-Wan or his father?
I think it was either Obi-Wan or his father.
Choose carefully. I know it.
This is tough, actually. I'm gonna go with his father.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's the irony.
Yeah, I know. I think that's why I chose it. It was like the build-up.
What does Yoda say is inside the cave on Dagobah? Only what is inside you, only what you take with you, only what you fear, or only what you wish to see? I don't think it's the last one.
It's whatever you take with you. Like, only
Yeah,
what you take with you.
That's gotta be it.
Yeah. I remember that because he's like, he's like takes the lightsaber and he's like, am I gonna need it, or like, yeah, that was a really cool scene too. I never understood that as a child, but as I watched that scene as I was older, I was like, oh, wow, it's crazy.
Foreshadowing from the film major. I can explain it to us. On what platform does Han land the Falcon in Cloud City? 727, 327,
Oh my God.
837, or B27?
The third one, I don't know.
Ooh, it was 327. I'm sorry.
I said the third one. 3.
That was the second
third,
one.
3.
Oh, we got a business-related question here.
Oh boy.
Mad Money with, Mad Money.
Yeah, with what's his face?
Kramer? Jim Kramer?
Jim Kramer. Isn't Jim Kramer the... Wait, hold on.
He's the guy. That's a great explanation. Yeah, it's Jim
Oh yeah,
Kramer.
the crazy guy with the bat.
He says sell. Okay.
Goes buy, sell.
Yeah. So what is the price he pays for being successful? Higher taxes. Oh, those taxes. No friends, more responsibility, or trouble with Imperials.
Wait, this is what Jim Kramer pays? Wait, what?
No, this is what Lando pays a price for being successful.
Okay, wait, repeat it.
Higher taxes, no friends, more responsibility, or trouble with Imperials.
This is what happens to him if he doesn't hand over Han?
No.
Or what happens to him?
He's just
after he hands
talking
over
about his business, and he's like, yeah, it's the trouble I pay for being successful.
Oh, I think No Friends.
I don't think that's it.
It's No Friends.
I'll put it, but I think it's Trouble with Imperials. Oh no, it's More Responsibility.
Oh. Yeah, you know, that's in line with his character, his reformed character.
How many stormtroopers are present when Han is loaded onto Slave 1?
Oh my god.
1, 2, 3, or none? Can't be none. I guess
2.
Yeah, let's go 2. Oh, it's 1.
No, that's light security. Well, I guess he's frozen.
We're failing this quiz. There's 2 more questions.
Well, these are really obscure. Like, if I watched the movie more recently, I think I could have gotten these.
What does Obi-Wan tell Luke will happen if he faces Darth Vader? He will no longer be trained. He will face him alone. He will be turned to the dark side, or he will not be strong enough.
I think the second one.
He will face him alone. Hopefully this is right. Yes.
Yeah.
Last one.
Mm-hmm.
Finish the quote. You have learned so much. Young Skywalker, my son, young Jedi, or young one?
Young Skywalker.
Oh, it's young one.
Ah.
6 out of 15.
Yoda, you old fart. He's such a little gremlin-looking person.
6 out of 15. I want to give you a percentage.
What does he know about the Fourth?
That's a 40%.
You know what? I'll take it.
That's good. Okay. What do you want to do next? You want to continue with the Star Wars?
You know, I'll give you... Let's talk about a movie that I rewatched recently.
All right.
Donnie Darko.
Oh, yeah.
I love Donnie Darko. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. And now I'm talking about it on the radio. I'm so hip, underground, alt-indie person.
Yeah, this is maybe the most important day of your life.
Huh?
Yeah, it is.
This is the most important day of my life?
Maybe.
Talking about Donnie Darko on the college radio?
Yep. There's tens of thousands of people watching.
I will say, I love that movie so much. One, soundtrack.
Yeah, it's really good.
Absolutely amazing. Like, just all the... Hold on, I'm going to bring it up right now.
You know the end where it's like, all around me are
Yeah.
familiar.
And they chose the...
And then how about the one that's like, dun, 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 dun. You know, when the presenter is doing the thing.
When Patrick Swayze is talking? Which one?
I don't know. But it's like the school presenter comes up and he starts mouthing off to the presenter, and then it plays the music. It's like, burr, burr, burr.
I don't remember which one you're talking... Well, I think I know which scene you're talking about. It's when Donnie Darko, like, talks to Patrick Swayze, who's, like, presenting about the whole fear and love spectrum.
Yeah, I think that's what... That movie's funny.
It is it's funny in a very dark way. Like, Donnie's rant about the Smurfs. Do you remember this?
Is that when they're like, he's with his friends?
Yeah, he's with his friends, and they're making... By the way, his friends are horrible people. Like, they're just bad people. They're talking about, like, Smurfette, and they're getting all the Smurf lore wrong, and Donnie goes off on them talking. It's probably one of the greatest monologues ever. It's
really well written. It kind of almost reminds me of, like, a little bit Tarantino-ish in terms of, like, how the characters have, like, specifically Donnie Darko has, like... Now, what's the character's name again?
Which one?
His name's not Donnie Darko.
His name's Donald Darko.
Donald Darko. Okay.
Yeah, but people call him Donnie.
Okay.
Because who wants to be called Donald?
Okay. It's like how the characters like take a little thing and then like expand it into some huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of kind of like Tarantino likes to write, and that is really funny.
Oh, you mean like kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm-esque like stuff where they just like go off and well, he's also mentally ill, not Tarantino.
In a good
Donnie.
Way. He's good mentally ill though. You know, like no, come on, he is.
He's like pseudo paranoid schizophrenic.
I always read it like
he has emotional problems. Is how he describes it.
I know, but I just think he's really cool.
He is a really cool guy. Like, well, you know, we say that as spectators of his life. If we knew him in real life, it might be less cool. But he's an icon.
Does he really have mental illness? Because it seems like he has some like supernatural thing happening to him.
Well, he does have emotional issues, like actual like, problems,
That's okay.
outbursts, anger management, But yeah, that's the whole debate, is whether what he's seeing is actually real. Because his therapist says that, it's a daylight hallucination, which is common among paranoid schizophrenics. But then he says that the things that you're seeing is very much in line with what he reads in a book called The Philosophy of Time Travel. And the man who appears to him, Frank, in the big bunny, the 6-foot-tall bunny rabbit, yeah, you don't know whether he's real or not. But then in the end, I think definitively we can say that everything he was seeing was real.
Right. Have you ever watched The Twilight Zone?
Yes, I watched The Twilight Zone. It was a lot of fun, and it was probably pretty scarring for me as a young person.
A lot of the episodes have that same theme where it's like you don't really know. Usually it's revealed at the end.
Yeah, there's always some plot twist at the end.
Yeah, it's like a character who's losing track of reality. There's this one that's kind of underrated. I think it's called like A World of Difference, maybe. It's about this Hollywood actor who's like, well, he's not a Hollywood actor in the beginning. He just walks into work, says hi to his secretary, sits down at his desk, and then he gets a headache, and then all of a sudden, like, his office is like a movie set, and they're all like, yo, Arthur, what's going on? And
I don't think I've seen this one.
it's a good one, and he's like, he loses his whole family and everything, and it turns out the character's like, no, that's not your wife. That's just your wife in the movie you're playing. And the ending is ambiguous whether he's actually like mentally ill, or he's like or he's really like having a interaction with the Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
just gotta shout that out.
I think the Donnie Darko ending, is pretty definitive in that everything he saw was real, because if you watch the director's cut, that scene where, all around me are familiar faces, that's become very memed at this point. In the director's cut, they explain that that's all those people remembering what happened in the tangent universe, and that they feel like senses of guilt, and they remember these things, but, they're not sure that they happened, and that's why it's going over all of them. So that stuff really did happen. And the scene between Gretchen and Donnie's mom at the end, where they seem to know each other despite never having met since since Donnie dies. But yeah, I love what else I love about that movie is there's a really strong theme of politics, about how Donnie, as this kind of alternative kind of teenager who's not really typical. He doesn't really, fall in line with a lot. He likes dark stuff. He likes to paint. He's not like other guys, in the very stereotypical sense. Is put against this backdrop of like white conservatism in like white suburbia. Throughout the movie, there's these sprinklings of like politics. Donnie's dad is like a staunch Republican. In the beginning scenes, he has a fight with his daughter, Donnie's sister, about her voting for Dukakis.
Oh, right. I remember
which is really funny, because she just brings it up out of the blue. She goes, I'm voting for Dukakis, just to piss him off.
Right.
And he likes Bush, obviously, and Bush would go on to win that race. But he watches political news, and he watches the Bush-Dukakis debate. There's a lot of themes of like nationalism and patriotism. The American flag appears so many times throughout that movie. It's even in Donnie's room, hung up on the ceiling. And just how he kind of fits into that culture against like the backdrop of like, he's medicated, he goes to therapy, these are not things that would typically probably fly in a Christian conservative household. And, he's weird, he likes, like, weird things. He draws weird pictures of Frank. He sees the 6-foot-tall bunny rabbit. Talks about the end of the world and stuff. And I just love those contrasting themes. And his mom, who is played by, I'm trying to remember, but she's fantastic.
Is it Drew Barrymore?
No, Drew Barrymore is his teacher. His mother is...
Gina Malone. Is it Gretchen?
Gretchen is his girlfriend.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
No. Is it Mary McDonnell? Wait, hold on.
Rose Darko.
Yeah, Mary McDonnell.
What kind of last name is Darko?
Yeah, no, that's why she's like, what are you, a superhero or something? And he goes, who says I'm not? And he rizzes her up right on the spot with that line. But, yeah, Mary McDonnell, that's what I just said, right? You really see, because Donnie is not really good to her, like, just as, because he's an angsty teen, he's angry at everything, he's medicated, and he says, like, the pills don't make him feel good. But in the director's cut, they really expand a bit on their relationship and just how much unconditional love she has for her son that really helps him along his path. There are scenes where he calls her a not very nice word that rhymes with stitch. But she doesn't get mad at him. She doesn't like storm in and like punish him or anything like that. She goes to his therapy session. She and the dad meet with his therapist, and she's really sad and broken down about all the things that he's going through, and she's like, I just want to help him. And in the director's cut, there are two scenes. One where she says she tells Donnie what is going to happen because she's going to go out of town to take her other daughter to the dance competition. Star Search is what it was called. And she says, I'm going to leave you at home with your sister. You're going to be home alone. This is what's going to happen. Promise me you're going to call Dr. Thurman if anything happens. And Donnie asks her, how does it feel to have a wacko as a son, for a son? And she says it's wonderful.
Right.
And that was just a really touching moment. Because she like caresses his face, and he's like, he feels bad about it all. But I think another thing about that aspect of the movie is how much parents play a role in a child's development, because even the dad, who doesn't get a lot of screen time in the original cut, in the director's cut, there's this scene where he sits down with Donnie and really talks about like how proud he is and how much he thinks of Donnie, even though he's like not the best communicator. Just like really touching stuff. And yeah, I just love that movie so much.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's a sad movie.
Yeah, it is. It is sad, but it's also happy in some ways, because Donnie got to live out what he got to feel a sense of purpose. He got to like he got to overcome his fears and kind of embraced his like destiny, which is depressing in a sense, but there's also like other ways you can look at it, because Gretchen gets to live, and that's all he really wanted. That's why he goes back in time, is because he wants Gretchen to live.
Yeah, man, this proof you're a film major. That was very good.
Yeah, no, I've watched that movie so many times, and it's so good. It's one of my favorite. If I could write a paper on it, I would. If they ever give me an opportunity in the future.
I only watched it once, and I actually talked about it on the show. It was like 2 or 3 months ago. I should probably watch it again. One thing you said about like how the town is like the suburb, I really like the town. It like almost calms me down from the rest of the movie, because the rest of the movie is kind of like
it's
like,
weird, dark.
Yeah, it's like paranoid and like unstable.
And I'm sure they did that on purpose, because having that backdrop against the white suburbia and stuff, because I don't think there's like a single person of color in that whole movie. There is the one Chinese girl. They call her her name's Sharita, but they call her Charita because she has a speech impediment, because obviously I don't think English is her first language, but they treat her horribly, like absolutely terribly. Like Donnie's friends tell her, Donnie's really the only one that sticks up for her throughout the whole movie. And there's a scene, he says, he goes up to her and he says, things are going to be better for you one day, I promise.
Right. And
she like runs away really scared. But yeah, having that backdrop against, because it's it's a quiet town, nothing happens, everybody's rich and wealthy, there's no like hardship or anything, but Donnie has these like internal struggles that might not be immediately visible from the outside.
So we have 10 minutes, 9 minutes. Do you want to do a trivia on Donnie Darko?
Are you gonna do? Okay, sure.
Okay, Darko is Donnie's nickname. Evil twin last
It's
name.
his last name.
Okay,
His name's Donald Darko.
great name.
Yeah, it really is, right?
Who plays Elizabeth, Donnie's older sister?
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Correct. Creepy rabbit who appears
Frank.
next to Donnie. Oh God, you're so good.
Yeah.
This is too easy though. How many days is the world gonna end?
28 days. On Halloween. Or technically the day after Halloween. Well, yeah.
What happens the night Donnie follows Frank outside?
A jet engine crashes into his room.
Oh yeah.
That's just like a basic plot question, though.
Karen Pomeroy, played by Drew Barrymore, teaches what? I don't
English.
know. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Karen Pomeroy.
I love Drew Barrymore in that because I feel like she's everything that, like, this is going to sound really strange, but she's like everything like I think Hot Topic wants to be. Like if Hot Topic had class.
I don't even know what does that mean.
Do you know what Hot Topic is?
Not really.
It's this kind of store that sells a lot of like alternative and goth fashion and like just like a lot of pop culture stuff. It's an interesting store. A lot of people will things, but like I feel like Drew Barrymore, she reminds me of Hot Topic. I don't know why, but she's like the typical quintessential like goth like teacher, and she's weird, you know, and she relates to Donnie, and like Donnie likes her a lot because, you know, she's weird and different and stuff. And she plays an important role. But yeah.
Who does Mrs. Pomeroy suggest new student Gretchen sit next to in English class?
The boy she finds the cutest.
Yeah, and she sits next to Donnie.
She sits
Darko.
next to Donnie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Donnie had her right then and there.
That's kind of like a dream that never happens. In
Yeah,
real
no,
life.
that would not fly in real life. That would definitely get her fired.
Oh no, I just mean it would never happen. Like to me.
Hey, give yourself some credit. But no, if a teacher ever did that, that'd be pretty weird.
You know, here's what would happen if the girl sat next to anyone other than me, I would hate the teacher, and if she sat next to me, I would be like,
take it really personally.
Yeah, I would. I take everything very personally. What short story is Donnie's English class reading?
Oh, it's the Destructors by Graham Greene.
Jesus, you know a lot about this. What nickname have kids given Roberto Sparrow?
Oh, Grandma Death.
Who dat? Who's Roberta Sparrow?
She's the one who wrote the book Philosophy of Time Travel that Donnie reads.
Lady?
Yeah, and she's the lady with the crazy hair who's like 104 or something like that.
Right.
101,
Okay.
104.
What is Roberto Sparrow? Why am I saying it Spanish? Roberto Sparrow wait for every day.
Mail. She goes
Mail.
out for her mail, or a letter. But yeah.
What is Middlesex Ridge School's mascot?
It's a bulldog, but it's this really weird looking bulldog. Yeah, wait, what are the options? It's called something weird.
The badger, the bull, the mongrel, the wildcat.
Oh, the mongrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What trauma is Gretchen living with? He's got a sneeze break.
Excuse me. Her stepfather stabbed her mother, and they had to move and change their names.
Happens to the best of us. How does Donnie ask Gretchen to be his girlfriend?
You want to go with me?
That's what I would say. You know what? Maybe we're too far alike. Maybe this is a bad sign. What is the name of Samantha Darko's dance troupe?
Oh, it's called it's like Sparkle something.
You got it. Sparkle Motion.
Yeah, Sparkle Motion.
That's an awesome name. The movie's kind of like corny.
Yeah,
in a good way.
I think that's the point
Yeah.
of it all. It's like Donnie, you know, he's like the angsty teen. You read Catcher in the Rye?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's holding Caulfield almost, you know, like everything's phony, you know.
Right. Okay, we read that in high school, but that was the one book I sort of didn't stick with me. I don't know
Really?
why.
Because
Yeah.
that was one of the only books I actually read through and through.
It was a good book, but it just didn't stick with me. I don't know.
Because it was like, I mean, they made it out to be like so dirty because it's like, oh, it's banned in a lot of places and like thing. And then I read it, I'm like, this is really tame. But I remember really, like, this is such, like, people would clown on me for this, but I remember relating to that book a lot when I was like an angsty teen. Because like what he was saying, like, just resonated a lot with what I was thinking at the time. And even Salinger he became a recluse because he was getting hounded by teenagers, thinking these teenagers thought he was like a messiah. Like they thought he was just like some truth sayer because of Catcher in the Rye, because it embodied like the youth experience, and that's why he ultimately became a recluse in the end. Well, there's more to it than that. He like got betrayed in something, but yeah.
What field does Jim Cunningham work in?
He's a motivational speaker. Or like a life coach-ish kind of person.
Yeah. What therapeutic technique does Dr. Thurman try with Donnie?
Hypnotherapy.
Yep. You're really good at this.
Yeah, I've watched this movie.
Uptight gym teacher Mrs. Farmer also serves in what role?
She's the health teacher. Or like, what are the options?
It's not an option. The coach of Sparkle Motion.
Oh yeah, she is that.
Okay.
But yeah, but she also teaches like health in the movie.
Donnie finds a wallet on a residential street. Why is this?
Jim Cunningham's.
Okay. Oh, it says both 1 and 3. It's Jim Cunningham's wallet, and Donnie read an anecdote involving a lost wallet in the Fear Love exercise.
Oh yeah, that's true too. He gets Ling Ling. That was the name they chose for like the fictional Chinese character in his card is Ling Ling.
What did Roberto Sparrow / Grandma Death do earlier in life?
She was a nun, but she was also a teacher.
She was a model, she was a nun, she wrote a book, or both 2 and 3.
She wrote the book and she was a nun. So 2 and 3.
What movie did Donnie and Gretchen go see?
Oh, Evil Dead.
Yeah, I remember watching that movie. My friend recommended it to me. It's a good movie. Have you seen it?
I actually haven't. It's on my short list though.
It's very it's like very pure. It's a very pure horror film.
It's probably one of like the originals, like, you know.
It's very fun. When Donnie asks Frank, "Why do you wear that stupid rabbit suit?"
Why do you wear that stupid man suit?
Oh, wow, you're good.
Yeah.
To whose house does Donnie set fire?
Jim Cunningham's, who turns out to be a pedo.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
And there's weird, if you watch the director's cut, there's weird connections between him, water, and like fire, which is one of the things that like Roberta explains in her book. Because he floods the school and he sets the house on fire, and it's, you know, it's weird. He gets unnatural strength. That too.
What does Donnie see protruding for his own and others' chests?
Well, it's like a liquid, like water. What are the options?
Their hearts, rabbit faces, silver trails predicting their future motion.
Yeah, that thing.
All right. Sorry, give me 1 second here. Where does Donnie's silver trail lead him?
Oh, it leads him into his parents' closet.
Yes, to a gun in his.
Yes, he finds
closet.
a gun in his parents' closet.
This will be our last question, and then we gotta sign off.
Okay.
So, what opportunity do the girls of Sparkle Motion get?
Star Search.
That was basically 100%. I think you aced that.
Yeah, baby.
So this has been Cinéshow. This is Nima Golbabai on KUCI 88.9 Irvine. And Sean, you want to sign out, plug your show?
Yep, my name is Sean. I have a show Sundays 12 to 2 p.m. called Mess FM, where I play a wide range of alternative genres, ranging from shoegaze to synthwave to goth rock, industrial. Yeah, tune in. It'll be a good time. I promise.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm with you to the end of the line.